Shalom Aleichem, this is Rabbi Kovacs, and Mishnah Yomi continues for the 17th of Iyar, or May 8th, in the 4th chapter of Shekalim at Mishnah 4. Daled here. Motar Truma Mehayu Osin Ba. The leftovers from the Truma, that means the baskets they scooped full of coins out of the treasury, what would they do with those? So they explain, Rikui Zahav Tzipui Lebeit Kodshe Kodshim. They would buy sheets of gold and gold plate everything in the temple. Rabbi Yishmael says, what do you do with the motar peirot l'keit samizbech? Now, the motar peirot is what we discussed yesterday. If there was leftover money, if the temple could do business with that and make profit. So profit is called peirot. Peirot is literally fruits, but whenever you make a profit off of something, it's called peirot. And that's Rabbi Yishmael following his opinion yesterday. Rabbi Akiva said we don't do business with money of the temple or of the aniyim. Rabbi Yishmael continues in today's Mishnah here, motar peirot l'keit mizbeach. Good, the l'keit mizbeach was for when the mizbeach doesn't have anything to do. So you bring, kates is literally like a dessert. Some people say kayitz, like summer, because summertime is when the fruit's ripe, it's for dessert. So kates mizbeach here, it's like a dessert. It's not the main course. There's nothing that needs to be done right now, but don't leave the mizbeach empty. Go ahead and bring another carbon, an indava, a voluntary carbon. And Rabbi Yishmael continues, motar hatruma l'klei sharetz. The leftover truma of the lishka was scooped out of the office, goes to the vessels, the kalim that you need to run the temple. Rabbi Akiva omer motar truma l'keit mizbeach. Akiva says that money, the leftovers from the truma, you understand they would scoop out the 3 baskets 3 times a year, spend that on the karbanot and the needs of the daily running the temple. So with the leftovers, you bring for keit mizbeach. When the mizbeach was empty, you go ahead and bring a nedava. Motar nisachim l'kli sharet. What's left over from nisachim goes to buy the kli sharet, the utensils. And motar nisachim is a new phrase we haven't seen before. So the Barner explains, if the temple made a contract, for instance, the temple was going to buy oil at 4 sela per gallon, and then the price went down, and now the temple only has to pay, the market rate is now 3 sela per gallon. So the temple gets the benefit of that change in price, even though it was written into a contract and agreed upon. But if the price changes, the temple has Yad Elyona, has the upper hand in this business deal, so they could technically make a profit. Now, they're not going out of their way to make a profit, but it just so happens that the price changed, so they get the advantage of that change in price. So that's motar nesachim. Rabbi Chananya skone kohanim b'mer. Rabbi Chananya, who had worked with the kohanim, he said, motar nesachim l'keit mizbeach. This money that they got from the change in prices, from selling these items, it goes to the dessert fund for when the mizbeach is empty. Motar truma l'kli sharet. The leftover from the money they scooped out of the treasury goes to the kalim that they needed. Zev ze lo hayu modim beperot. And they both agree that we don't really have peirot available because don't follow the opinion of Rabbi Yishmael, who said we do business with the extra money and try to turn a profit. On to Mishnah Hey, motar haketoret, the leftover incense. Me hayu osin ba. What do you do with the leftovers? Now, there were always leftovers because every year they made 368 mana of ketoret. So there's only 365 days a year, and we have lunar years anyway, so there's less. But that extra 3 above 365 was for Yom Kippur, when the Kohen Gadol would take in his 2 hands full into the Kodesh HaKodashim and bring ketoret there. So since you only needed a maneh for a day on a normal day, there was always leftovers. So what do you do with the leftovers? Mafrishin memenu schara umnin. You separate from it for the wages of the craftsman. I believe it's Beit Avtinas who actually compounded the ketoret. They had the secret recipe. They knew what the malei ashan was. They knew what these secrets were. So you're using the value in the extra ketoret to pay them. And you remove the kedusha. Machalol is a phrase of removing the kedusha from the ketoret, and you put it onto the money. So now you give the ketoret to the craftsmen for their wages. Now they're not going to use it. And then the temple goes and buys it back from the craftsmen. You paid them with the extra ketoret. And now you're buying it back from the new money, from the Truma Chadasha, the new scoops of money. Now you've accomplished 2 things here. First, you've paid the workers who are putting together the ketoret. And second of all, you've basically recycled the leftover ketoret into this year, because there's a budget every year. It's an annual budget for ketoret, and whatever was bought with last year's ketoret budget can't be used for the following year. You can't use it, new fiscal year here. But if you deconsecrate, you desanctify the leftover ketoret, and you pay the workers, and then you buy it back with the new money from the new truma, from the New Year's shekels, then now this is ketoret from the new year, and you can use it in the upcoming year. So the Mishnah ends up in ba chodesh bizmano, if the new coins came on time. They got all their new coins before Rosh Chodesh Nisan, lo chinotam truma chadasha. Then they would buy it from the new money, like I just explained. That's the ideal thing to do, because then you can use the ketoret the upcoming year. The imlov, but if they didn't have new coins, mini yishana, they would actually pay the workers with the old coins, and even though this ketoret was brought from the old coins, from last year's coins, it was still allowed to be used. It still works. It just might give a headache to the accountants at the temple. Chazak Baruch and be well.